personally, you excited as well?
Yeah, well, you never lose the excitement of semi-finals, and it's 3 out of 4 years we've been in this situation, but being in a good position to be in the semi-finals, so it's probably a proud time for the club, but it's also exciting.
Heading in, obviously pretty confident, or a little bit nervous, I guess, playing the Bulldogs twice in 2 weeks?
I think you're always nervous. NRL games you're nervous about the outcomes, but the thing I like about our football team is they're playing confident and there's a good spirit about them.
What have you looked at more, the first 60 minutes or the last 20 minutes?
There's a lot of things you've got to look at in any game of football. We won the game, but albeit by 6 points, but they've got some clever options which we've certainly got to shut down. But I've been impressed with our defence. Probably was better in the first 6 than the last 20.
Is there a worry that finish affects?
I don't think so. Winning formula is always good formula, and I'd rather go in with a win than a loss.
You expect their structure?
Yeah, I'm really. I think the crowd are getting used to us being in big games, and certainly the second time in the semi-final, they'll be excited, and they need to be, because every home team likes to think that they can get a little bit of advantage from their home crowd.
It makes a massive difference.
Oh, it does. We'd rather be playing here than Sydney, and it doesn't give you the right to. No, it hasn't. We've got 3 or 4 kickers in the football team, so if they can work out who's going to kick it, they've got to stay within the rules.
Not to spoil the party, but if the cards don't fall your way, it could be your last game tomorrow night. The amount of, adversity the team has come through this year to get to this point, would you still be proud as coach to get to this point?
Well, we're talking hypothetical there, and the hypothetical you've given me is a loss. So not often coaches talk about losses. We rather refer to wins and going in fairly confident.
Graham, can you give some insight in terms of the side at the moment compared to say 2004, 2005? Maybe how it differs, or is there a maturing in some of those guys?
Yeah, probably in some ways, without knowing exactly how we got to those semi-finals. But we've been teams 3 or 4 nearly all year. Our last 5 months have been pretty good. Albeit everyone reckons we're right on Thurston and Bowen, but I reckon our whole team is playing a good structured game of footy. If we can hold that form, I think we'll be able to make this game and weeks to come.
On that point in 2005, we can remember JT running around with his video camera almost like a fan, and we're here, we've made it, all that sort of stuff. How much different is he as a player and importance to the team?
He's a different person, but just reflecting on that, which I did this week, that was a grand final experience, and I think if you won that game, it would have been the smartest thing someone's ever done. But if you lose it, everyone sort of said, that was very immature. So, I think if we ever get that situation again, we'll do it a bit differently. But he was excited, but he certainly is a much maturer person. But I think as the whole team, we've had 3 semi-finals experiences over 4 years, and we're all better for it.
Go forward 36 hours, what will you be saying to the team before they run through?
There's not a lot we say on game day. It's a build-up for the whole week, but it's a semi-final, and just remind them it'll be fairly intense, particularly in that first 20.
Smith told us yesterday that he'd have a chance for the older blokes to talk to the younger guys about some of their experiences. How invaluable is that at this end of the game, end of the season? Yeah, that's good, and fellas who have been there before, like Paul Bowman, and we've got a few young blokes like Matty, Bowen and JT and the like, Dave Fayumi, Payne. They've all been around semi-finals, and anything they could pass on would be good.
You young guys, that Sam Faust and Mark Henry and these guys have been doing such a good job. Will that be, you're confident they can go to the next level?
If we're in season, we're playing our 10th game of the season, maybe sometimes you've got to drop them out and bring them back again. But the excitement for those guys, I'm sure, is playing semi-finals. They've never done that before. They've never been in a first grade side of the semi-final period. So you don't really have to lift them for every occasion. They're playing good football, and they're now playing part of a semi-final series.
I know it's offensive to the other players to focus on JT all the time, but you'd still love it if he could dominate this final series.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, he's been a dominant person for a long period of time, not just this year. But the other guys have to do their job, and they've been doing their job the last 5 weeks to the best of their ability, and that gives the likes of Ash Graham and JT and Matty Bowen a chance to score tries.
As many as obviously proven it, as many as any other player in the comp, he's a guy who can do it. There's an individual who can really
I think you nearly pick 1 or 2 from every team in the semi-final series that can raise the levels for their football team. I look at Asakasi for South and Inglis to name one from Melbourne. I think all those guys have that ability.
All the best. Thank you.